How you doing, guys? Welcome to Alakazooted, and today we are back for tag grading redemption. Will they do it? I don't know, but if you've seen my last video, I'll link it in the description. I had previously graded for the first time ever in my life a bunch of my Pokemon cards, and I wanted to do that to go with a company that had something different to offer than the typical you just hand over your cards may get held hostage if they're worth more. Who knows? Then also your grading comes back with no real transparency on why it's graded a certain way. There's no real receipts for it. There's no data behind it. They're just like, okay, this is it. And I don't really like that, and I don't like the constant seeing of people regrading stuff and getting different grades drastically every time. I don't like any of it. So I wanted to go with Tag because they offered the scanning of your cards and a really detailed system for it, right? So I did 40 cards, and it went through and it came back within a good amount of, no big deal, a little bit of a delay, but I think it was a little bit past the 10-day mark. So it was getting close to almost a month, a couple bits of delays because there was a big surge and all this stuff. But either way, I got it earlier than I would have a PSA submission, and it was more affordable. If there was more valuable cards, none of it mattered, and I put a card in there that was a really big valued card. And when it came back, all the 40 cards were good except for 3 Charizard cards, one of which was Japanese, the only Japanese I put in there, and they were put into the wrong slabs. And that was upsetting, and it took me a long time, and I had a lot of issues trying to get in touch with Tag and trying to communicate. And it went on for quite a while, me commenting everywhere, messaging them, emailing them, everything under the sun. And then finally, after going through other people, they contacted Tag, then Tag contacted me, and then finally this got remedied. They refunded me extra money even, and then fixed my cards and sent them back, and everything went well. And now I want to go for a second round to see if they redeem themselves and if the system really overall has improved. Now, with that being said, things are a lot different now with Tag. Before, it was $15 a card for a bulk submission of over, I think, 25 cards, and that was it. And it was 10 days. You can get a submission kit added, and it was I think a certain $40 maybe to $60 or something, and it would come with it. I think it was included though with the bulk order of more than 25 cards, because it was just you could submit any amount, I think, for the 15. I'll have to double check, but either way, in my previous video I'll go into all that, right? And basically what had happened, or basically what the deal was, is they would give you the step-by-step process along the way. But now it's still the $15 a card, right, for bulk. But I want to do this time around, I want to go ahead and do about 55 cards, and then I got a few for my buddy that I'm throwing in and stuff. But now there's a difference, because now you don't get the submission kit, I think, included. They don't clean the card included or anything like that. There's no protection, nothing like that. So I was a little worried, right? And I went through and I paid for the extra protection for each card, the extra cleaning for each card that was originally included with the bulk and everything that I had ordered in the previous order, in my first time ordering. And then now on top of it, the submission kit cost me extra money. And then now it's not a 10-day return or 10 business day return. It's and I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a 35 business day return. And that's quite a bit different. And then it ends up being around 18 per card with everything said and done, right? So it's a bit more of a delay, but hopefully that's still, to me, a better offering than what CGC, PSA, and everything is doing. So I want to go ahead and send these cards out. Now, I got my submission kit in. We're going to go through. I'm just going to show you some of these cards. We're going to put them into the submission kit. I'm going to actually show that and show what they look like, and then we're going to see, we're going to fast forward to whenever these cards come back, and I will go over the turnout of everything. Also, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know if you've graded with Tag, if you've had any issues, if you've been able to communicate with them, if you've graded with them now, more in recent times. But yeah, let's get right into this and see. So we got our box here, bing, bang, boom. I taped it up so you didn't see, obviously, the addresses or anything like that. But let's open this up. I may have to, obviously cut and cover some other stuff depending on what's in here, right? But it came within a couple days of me doing this order. And this is obviously a big order, you know. I'm doing like 62 cards in total because I'm doing, I think, 7 for my buddy. And, trying to open this. Man. They do a damn good job of packing this. Okay. So here we have our box that's in our return packaging that we will send back off. So, and then we got our submission kit, right? Okay. So, set that aside real quick. And then let me switch this camera over. Okay, so now I have my stack of cards here that I have all in top loaders and sleeves and everything. I've got the checklist that they give you to print out to include. My little packing list where you check off all the cards. And then our submission kit. Okay, so this is pretty cool. You know, they do a really good job with these. It's got this nice little Velcro here. And it's pretty strong, goes all the way around pretty nicely, holds everything together really good, keeps it pretty protected. Urgh. Shaking the whole table. Strong Velcro. Okay, so then a little zipper. Let's see. Oh. So, bam. There we go. Now inside of this here, we've got our tag submission box. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. And inside of this box is your instructions. Another packing list in case for some reason you didn't print yours out and you ignored the instructions. And then your boxes with your sleeves and protectors that you will be putting everything back into. Okay, so let's go through and do that. So they got this little foam in here that like separates it. Boom, boom, boom. You know, nice little foam blocks. Our shields and sleeves, 20 of them, and then some extras that they put in for the extra 2 that I had. Okay, these foam blocks. And then this other box that has 50. Bam. So I got a lot more sleeves and shields than I needed. Cool. I'll still send them back with them just in case. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the deal is. So it says, locate the folded packing list and organize your cards in the same numerical order. Insert each card into a provided easy pull sleeve and then into a tag shield. Place the tag shielded cards into the deck box. First card goes in the front, last card in the back. Then place the filled kit back into the tag safe case. Set aside the cable tie and zip up the case. Secure the cable tie through the zipper and D-ring. Oh, that D-ring. Remove the top shipping label and reveal the return label. Your cards are ready to be tagged. Okay, so these cards are ready to be tagged. Let's do that. Let's tag these. First one up on the list. We're going to fast forward through all this, obviously, and we'll skip to the end of me doing this after I do just a few of these to show an example. But the first is the Mewtwo GX 2019 Pokemon Battle Academy card. Bam. Looking flossy. Straight out of the Battle Academy. Now let's grab one of these sleeves. Zoop, put it in that. And then put it into like that. Trying to be very gentle with it, but bam. Okay, so then you put it like that, and then you would take it and put it in here as number 1. Bam. Got it. Okay, so now we're gonna go and do the rest of these. Okay, so we got the checklist accomplished. We folded it back up. We got all the cards in order, all ready to be, quote, tagged. And I don't know how many I'm able to put in each thing. So let me do like 50 maybe. 1, 2, 3. Actually, let me just... Then the rest of the foam, or at least 2 of the foam blocks that I can fit, back in. Close that. Pop that in. Then let's neatly close that up. Voila. Now let's put this back in. Now this time it tells us to zip tie it up, but there is no zip tie included with this one. I don't know what happened to it. But either way, let's get that all taken care of. Bang. And then let's get this put away into the return and get them shipped out, and fast forward and see how this goes and how round 2 of grading with tag goes. Okay, so after a little bit of wait and a surprisingly short amount of wait, we have the tag order back. Now, we did 62 cards, me and my buddy Mark. He did, 7 cards, and I did 55. Now, I got it all back. It was supposed to be 35 business days, right? And I put it in on the 12th of July and got it back on like the 21st of August. So that's a lot faster. It technically wouldn't have been here till like September. So I'd say that's like really, really good compared to what they actually stated. They're moving things along a lot faster than I thought. Things were really moving down the line pretty quick when I was just checking for updates, you know? So that was good. Good improvement, although like I wouldn't say that like, well, I can't really say improvement because technically it's an extended amount of time. You know, the first order was supposed to be like 10 business days. So this is a little bit longer, but they did better than they stated they would. So there's that, right? Now, with each card, I ended up paying about $18 a card because I paid for the cleaning and the insurance and all that. You know, I got the submission kit, as you saw. So everything came in, everything was good, safe. I'm going to go over a couple of these cards, show you some stuff. I had to open these already because my buddy had to get his cards out. So, you know, we got to peek at everything. So I just opened them, put them in a little protective sleeve that they give you actually and everything. So, and I'm going to show you a little bit of these. I'm going to break into these, right? Well, I'm not going to break into them. Actually, I am. At the end, we are going to do a slab break test to see the durability. These are supposed to be updated slabs from the originals, a lot harder to break. So we'll test that out. We'll look, because I have one in particular that I want to look at that got a lower grade than expected because of some things that I didn't see. So we're going to look at that, see if we can see those issues. And I'm just going to show you just an overview of how everything came out, how everything looks. Now, okay, so I'll open this first box, right? And I left, like, to show you how they come, they all technically come in these, like, mystery packs, you know what I mean? But I already opened these, so, like, now, you know, you go and you open it. Oh, look. Bam. Beautiful looking slabs, though, from this company. Like, everything looks so good. You know, these are my favorite graded, like, slabs of any company. They look outstanding. You know, the transparency too with the grading process has been really good. I'm going to show you a couple of these. There's one actual slab error. I had slab errors in the previous order, and this is supposed to be like a redemption video, and there's one small error. and, you know, I typed it in to hope they corrected the error because it was a card that wasn't yet listed. So I guess it would be like a pop 1 if it was, and it didn't come through. So I'm going to show that one. But like, here you go. We got the, you know, and I put another one in a package too, just so you can see, like, bam. That's my favorite card that I got graded out of everything. This Iron Crown. It just looks awesome. I was hoping to get a good grade on that. That one might stay in the personal collection, but we'll see. You know, technically with everything that I went through, I'm going to separate these like in order of grades, you know, because overall I just kind of eyeballed some stuff. I didn't use any measurement tools, any apps or anything like that. I just kind of eyeballed some cards in here at night and just swung it. And I would say I did pretty good. You know, there was a decent amount of 10s, a lot of 9s, and then the rest were, you know, like 7s, 8s, and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through and separate it. It's all in these 3 boxes, and I'll show you. Okay, so now I've got them all separated. You can see there's a stack all the way on the left here. You can see peeking. Those are all the 10s. These are all 9s, all the way to the tippy top here. Ooh, and they're about to fall. You know, because they're all on the sleeves, so they're a little slippery. They're not stacking right, you know. And then the 8.5s, 8s, 7 5s. Then I've got 7s off to the side. You can't see them. And then I've got one 5.5 that we're going to go over. So, okay. So let's check it out. First, we'll start with the worst one, you know. This is a 5.5 Lugia V. Looks immaculate when you look at it, you know. Fantastic looking card. But when you look and you tilt, there's one little line, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but there, oh, you can see a flash of it right up in this area here. See that line? That I couldn't tell with a loose card. That was an issue, and there's a couple other little print lines throughout it. And when you go and you look at the scans, I'll put the scans up here, you can see all of those issues on this card. You know, you'll look through the page, you can scan through, you can use the slider tool to go through the card and see the actual scan and see where the damage is. It'll give you those specifics, you know, as you scroll down and look through. It'll give you the scores and the like numerical score on technically like your edges and everything like that, how everything's looking. And it just gives you really good comprehensive, you know, data on your card that everybody can see if they look up the cert or scan the little code. So that's also really awesome. Now this at the end, we will do a break test on this because I just love this card. I wanted to see it in the plastic and I thought it would be good, but it didn't do well. So that one we will try to break at the end, you know, and we'll do a little test. But then after that, we've got 2 7s, a Radiant Venusaur and a Radiant Alakazam. There, you know, it said there was a little bit of wear on the card. It's just really hard to see them. You know, this one, it's a border issue. Borders are a little off on this. But, man, I love Alakazam, obviously. That's my dude, so I got the Alakazam. I might break those in the future, depending. You know, I got 175 Mewtwo V. Some of these I put a lot of in there because I just like the card and I want it to get graded. But, like, I got a Pikachu. These are the 8s. The Pikachu and Zekrom GX. Boy Palafin. Bam. Flying Pikachu V. Pikachu and Zekrom GX again. And they came out of the same League Battle deck, so go figure they got the same score too. You know. Sylveon VMAX in an 8. And look at that. The Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno in an 8 though. But man, what a beautiful card. And just a beautiful slab in general, right? And okay, so now we'll go into the 8 5s, right? I got a Dragonite V. Bam. Looks awesome from Pokemon Go. One of my favorites. Eevee VMAX. Mewtwo GX. Now this is, okay, so this one is the error, right? This one, Mewtwo GX 2019 Pokemon Sun and Moon. If you could see that. And it's Hidden Fates. Now this has this little logo right here, this little stamp. That's Battle Academy. and it's not marked in this one. And you will see in here, I do have another Battle Academy card that does note that it is one. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it does show that it's just a standard Hidden Fates card. But we'll see that, you know, I'll show you. Okay, so then we get that Alcremie VMAX. Bam. Shining Fates. Another Mewtwo V. And then the Mega Sableye and Tyranitar. Great looking card. Now we'll break into the 9s, right? We got a ton of 9s. Unbelievable amount of 9s. We got a Lugia V-Star. Alakazam EX from 151. Raichu V. This one's awesome. Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX. Also from the League Battle deck that I got the 2 8s from. Awesome looking card. And I consider 9s pretty good. Like, they're pretty much perfect. You know what I mean? Especially from Tag, which is very transparent on these issues. It's usually like a border thing or something that gives you that little bit. It's like that the borders weren't perfect. Now we got the Pikachu Secret Rare. I love this card. Probably one of my favorite Pikachu cards ever made. From my favorite set ever made, Crown Zenith. A lot of Charizards in here. Now, this one here I'm going to show you. This is the one I was talking about, the Charizard GX. Now, it does say 2020 Battle Academy. And it has the stamp. And it still has the Hidden Fates stamp at the logo in the corner. So this one is correct. The other one is the error. So there's that, right? Then we got a bunch of these Charizard EXs that I got from the promo box. These were the ones at Sam's Club. Now we have the Mega Charizard EX. I have the full Mega Charizard, the big boy one, in a 10. This one I got in a 9, a little unfortunate, but pretty awesome. Whoa. Fall over. Okay. We got another Mewtwo V. Oricorio. Now I'm going to show you one preview. I do have a few One Piece cards in here. So we got a Yamato promo. This in a 9. Awesome looking cards. If you haven't, you know, messed around or like opened any of the One Piece cards and you like One Piece, it's awesome. The cards are beautiful. We got a Ho-Oh V, one of my favorite Ho-Oh cards ever. In a 9 as well. We got the Radiant Blastoise. Move these over now. I'm running out of space. Urshifu VMAX. Caterpie from 151. Dondozo. Awesome looking card. The Wailord reminds me of that. The new Wailord from Journey Together. Lileep. And I was hoping to get this one in a 10, the Squirtle from Stellar Crown, because I've done well with the Bulbasaurs. And I have one in a 10 from my personal collection. But that's a beautiful card right there. Awesome. One of the best Squirtle cards. Okay, so now we're going to break into the 10s. What we've been waiting for is everything that I got in a 10. A lot of these were just for fun, because they were just like, some of them were just cool cards. Some I just wanted to see if I could send a batch and get a couple 10s, but we'll see. I'll show you. We get the shiny Abra. You know I had to try to get in that. I got to get all the evolutions for that in my collection, you know, in a 10. The Dragonite V. Awesome looking card. Also from Pokemon Go. My boy Palafin for the Palafin Army. The Eevee promo from Prismatic. That one was a hard one for me to find 10 worthy. Look at that. The Vivid Voltage Pikachu. There's the promo right there. I got one in a 10. Now here we go. Here's some cool stuff. Check this out. The Boa Hancock promo from One Piece. Awesome looking card with that derpy dragon in the back. Looking so cool. Now we'll go into Black Maria promo. Looking awesome. These cards just had such a cool alternate art form. I had to grade them, you know. Zoroark V-Star. And then the last One Piece card. This Trafalgar Law. Look at that. Bam. In a 10. Beautiful card. All the texture and all the different hollow pieces and everything in these. They just look so good. Man. And real heavy duty cards too. Marpeco right there. Then we got our Quackaball. And then our last two, which you saw, was the Iron Crown EX and the Hydrapple EX. So overall, I went through, calculated, like some of them it's hard to find prices for, but I think generally it's around what PSA is, sometimes even more. But in those cases, I just cut it to the PSA price generally. And if I sold everything, I'd be looking to profit probably over $1,000 or so. So I'll probably go through, make sure I make my money back, you know, go through, maybe sell a couple to profit, but mostly some of these I wanted a chance for my personal collection because they looked so cool, as you could see with like some of the tag team cards and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do a third round and see if like it's even better this time around, because the first time around there were some issues, but they did remedy it. It took a while. Communication was terrible, but they did a great job. At the end, they remedied everything. They gave me a great refund. They did well. The second time around, this has done super well. I had one small error, but other than that, fantastic. One oversight on my own that kind of ruined a card. You know, got a really low grade, but that's my own fault. Otherwise, great deal, $18 a card. It took about a month. I mean, this went very, very well. I would highly recommend still Tag to grade with. Now, we're going to go right in, and I'm going to try to crack one of these slabs real quick, just so you can see if they're more durable. I've seen a lot of videos. I've personally cracked slabs from Tag, and it'll be just cool to see if these are a lot more durable than the last ones. Okay, so let me move these out of the way, because I don't want to like get, if it does break, I don't want to get plastic all over. Okay, so here's the Lugia V. Now, from what I saw in all the videos, you just kind of go like this and bend it side to side. See, I heard a little bit. There we go. Now, this doesn't seem to be much more durable than the first slabs, and I really am trying not to splinter this bad boy and damage this card, but okay, so look, we got a little bit of a break there. See if I can break that the rest of the way. We got a little bit of plastic coming off. I don't want to really break it because I see right there it's near the corner of that card. And I don't want to ruin that part. But I might have to do it anyway. You know what? I think I could avoid that. Let's see. Whoa! That was not avoiding it at all. But let's see if I'm safe. Yep, looks like I'm safe. Okay, we're good. Bam. Pop that out. Lil Loogie boy. You're back. You're back in my possession. Raw and uncut. Yep, I see that line. But, beautiful card for the binder. And I would generally say, after testing this, that I can say that these slabs are not really improved. Oh, I did cut myself though. So it's fairly sharp. Look at that. I don't know where. Probably just in the corner of my hand, but I didn't notice that. I don't know. Oops. I don't want to mess up anything. But either way, right? I would say these are about as durable as they were before. Maybe a little bit more durable. I'd say that took a little bit more effort than the original times. But still, I can't complain, because like it's not like I've had anything that I've dropped, crack, or anything like that. Everybody takes really good care of their slabs. I keep them in these sleeves. Everybody keeps them in cases, the whole nine. And overall, I would say that for what they are, for how beautiful they are, and the services they provide, I still will go with Tag overall over PSA, CGC, everything. This still is a recommend for me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've had any issues. Let me know if you've tried to break any slabs, anything like that. But this is the Tag redemption video, and I'd say it was a success. Alakazooted out.